Hey, hello all, welcome back. Today another Hobby Master, this time with quite an oldie. I didn't never expect to find this one in the Netherlands. It's a release for the UK only. So why do I know that? United Kingdom exclusive release. It was a release request by Tiger Hobbies. It looks really cool. I tried to do my best to keep everything in the original spots, a used model, but yeah, all the weapon sets. It's nice that it's separated here, and also there's a big ass storyline. So if some of you want to read it, just pause and dig into the story. Feel free to do that. If not, please join me in unboxing and let's see what it looks like. Alright, so this is quite an old release as I mentioned, and I see if I can get the box a bit better on the image, but as you can see, a lot more attention to detail. It's digital render, but nicely done, I have to say. The limited edition still under nice limited Tiger Hobby, so a request model by a shop. The box art is really cool, simple but cool. I wonder how much it cost back in the day. I now paid 75 euros and it was used in the shop, but I have to say I'm really curious about that. Also, what I really liked, and I didn't put it in correctly, the weapons separately, so you can really see your weapons. I had to re-glue some of these things, so I hope I did that correct. But we'll see in a sec. This one is gonna go on its wheels, I hope. I hope it all fits, not like my last Phantom. But seeing it's a used model, I'm hoping that that is all solved. With no further ado, let's dig into this Royal Air Force Phantom. Which I don't have one yet, I think, at least. Oh yeah, I have a RC, of course, but it's like the second version. But I don't have a Phantom 1 model, at least this is oh, there's also Phantom 2, by the way. And it has a, oh cool, let me get the card out. So it had a limited production run card with it at cardboard. It's nothing fancy, but I think the plane usually is a lot lighter. At least on this photo it's lighter. But also the tail is a bit different here. UK Tigermeet, and it's back from 1988, so it's quite an old model they tried to make. Nice number, so that's really cool. Now let's have a look at the paint job on the model. The stand, still in packaging, so that's good. So they didn't use that part. It had quite an interesting look to it, and as I started noticing that I'm liking Phantoms, which some people already warned me for, I will see the comments in a sec. Yeah, to get these out of the box, it's sometimes a bit tricky, especially the older ones, but I usually like to hold it on the frame and then push the knobs in on the wheels or on the wings. So these little fat guys here. The model itself, let's have a first look at that before I get distracted. So a typical Tigermeet model. I think they re-glued the wing here, or at least they tried. It's something soft, luckily, so nothing hard that they used. So no permanent glue, let's say. I'm guessing it's a loose part here, but not bad. It's just a bit older. I think it's also a bit dusty, so it's gonna need a quick clean and wipe. Let's do that off film. So again, my lovely cleaning solution, I already sprayed some on the rag before I started filming. There's a nice color difference on this plane, and I first thought it was dust, but the wing is broken into a different color. Even some details that I didn't notice when I was in the store. So a different glass color, of course. Really take your time, by the way, around these little guys here. They snap off way too easy. I think it's the P-toed for this type plane. So really take your time with cleaning. Pilots were already entered by previous owner. Or by the shop, I'm not sure yet. But it's quite one of the older releases of Hobby Masters, the 1920, so it's a series that is probably already 18 years old, I'm guessing. But it still looks quite good for its age, I have to say. No bad glue marks or anything, or I think it had quite a good fitment when it was released. So with most molds, when they're new, they usually do it quite well. So, a nice quick clean sometimes helps a lot, especially when the model is old and used. So now we can dig back into the paint job. As I mentioned, the little P-toed. So very sensitive, don't move them too much. There's some glue residue there, I think, from the factory. The tiger is nicely printed on there. Also in the front, really cool. Really nice little antenna. The bottom is really plain, but well done. And the engine R still hasn't changed in ages, so that is all still the same. Now let's see if this one has a better fitment than its predecessor, or the one that I had later, its child, let's say. So closed hatch, open canopy, of course. Let's see if we can find the parts. So of course we're gonna need a open hatch, a front wheel, rear wheels that are still intact, so that's really good. Maybe it was displayed on its stand, we'll see in a sec, once I get it out. Again, big fingers, it's always fun. And then of course these were the ones that I have a lot of trouble with lately. But I'm really curious, I hope that some of you will post me some tips and details, and of course we're gonna add some tanks and weapons. But first we're gonna start with the FT part, and that's the wheels. By the way, the rubber gets sticky after age, it happens. So yeah, if you're worried about it, don't use the wheels. I personally don't mind. As you can see, it was standing on its wheels originally. I'm gonna start with the tricky part. Those are these little claps. With this one, the fitment is perfect. So that means that it's just a single layer of paint, not that many layers with colors. Usually it goes wrong with the colors, I've noticed with the last plane. So usually they just should stick in like this and it should be done. Same with the front wheel, it's a straightforward assembly. And what is nice, the hatch holds the wheel down. It fits next to the damper, let's say, and it holds down the frame of the wheel. They sometimes fit a bit poorly, but just make sure that you really have it pushed down. Same with the wheels, take your time with them, I've mentioned it before, and put it in the right spot, of course. Don't be like me and put it in the right spot. Later versions, they have some changes to this, but I usually like to use a pen for this job, especially with the older one. And you can put the pack in the hole if you want, you don't have to. It just looks aesthetically a bit more pleasing, let's say. But if it doesn't fit, it is not the biggest worry in your world. Because these usually break off, these little guys, so this little pack here. I'm not sure if this one will fit, barely. Oh, I already pushed it, broken, almost. But yeah, I cannot say more than take your time with this little guy because they are way too sensitive. That's why they also made some changes at the end. So here you see, this is what I mentioned. So it's old, it's brittle, it now is broken, of course, but not badly. But it's just one of their weak spots with the older Phantoms. Usually people put them on stands for that reason. So I'm gonna now have to use a little bit of hobby glue to get this little guy back on its spot, which somebody else already did for me. So yeah, I'm gonna do that off film for you guys, but stay tuned. So just to show you guys what did I do now. So I did it also with the other one now, so where the pen is now pointing, I snapped it off on purpose now, because the original factory glue, after a while, it lets go. There's nothing bad about it. This pack also, it's very weak, so don't be sad if it breaks, it happens. The later model has this all solved, or at least mainly solved. But putting these older models on their wheels is a lot more, hard. A different difficulty level, let's put it that way. So I re-glued this one, as I mentioned. Now usually what you should do, and I looked it up again in my own notes, you first put it into the pack and then push it down. And then preferably with a pen on the bottom part here. And if you do that, usually it sticks, but don't be disappointed if it doesn't. Then personally, I recommend just putting it on a stand, the older generation at least. The newer one's a lot more sturdy, but also, as you noticed in my last video with the Richtenhoven one, the 50-year edition, it was also not easy. So wheels, they fold in a bit in, as you can see. So it's a bit of a defect, but it's not bad. And this one is not so bad as the ones that I've seen before. You also have a lot of them that are broken on record. Yeah, I would not pay too much attention to that. So on its wheels. Now let's have a look at weaponry. I hope these fit. Usually they fit okay, but not always said that they will fit well. It happens that they don't fit well. So I already share with you guys if I start cussing on the video, which I will remove. Yeah, just have to be patient with some cuts in the video. So the rockets are usually not that bad. The ones that go in the frame, at least from the older versions, the packs were still quite on length. Just need to really make your time with putting them together and make sure that you have enough pressure points on the plane. So when you're pushing not on the canopy or too much on these little aerials. Now, as you might notice now already, I noticed that this thing is coming loose. So I'm probably gonna put this thing on a stand. Just like the last one. Because I really have my doubt about the wheels. So as you can see, this is way too flimsy. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put these away. This one was quite okay, it had quite a good fitment, but we're gonna go with a in-flight mode on this one. It's not good enough for me on the cabinet, especially with many models in your collection. You should always worry about the rest and not just about one, because I don't want to pick it up one day and then it falls in my hands in one piece. So the previous models, to get them closed hatched, I'm going to show you guys. Usually the fitment of the front one is quite poor. It's not well made, but it's good enough. Sometimes you need to put a bit of hobby glue on the edges. With this one, it's not needed, luckily, but it happens. The hatches are quite easy if they are well fitted. This one is. There is some glue residue on there, so I'm assuming that the previous owner put some hobby glue on it, because it's quite sticky. Probably because the fitment was poor. But this one, it's okay. So that's a quick transition from wheels to in-flight mode in a few seconds. But yeah, don't put models in your cabinet if you're doubtful that the wheels will not stay on, because there's no point. Especially with older models like this one, I'd rather not take the risk, and the rubber of the wheels was already a bit on the weak side. So always think twice before you buy really old used models. Take your time with them, because there are for age thing, that's always a problem. Same with the models that are built. I just need to keep in mind that I need to remove the rubbers before we install the stand. The rockets are very low, very poor fit, or a very good fit. They're a bit too loose. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go a left-right switch. Might be that I had them on the wrong way. I had them on the wrong way, so that was my bad. So these have a little sparing that they can go on the wheels. So this is the right fitment. So if we take a small blade, if I remember where I kept it. Luckily we have a set of knives nearby. So these rubbers need to go out. I hope they didn't perish over time, because that happens. So yeah, really take your time when removing these little guys, because they're also the holders for your screws for your frame. But feel free to share with me how you deal with this issue with the wheels, because, or you don't, that is also an option. But I always like to hear different opinions and solutions to a problem. So the fuel tank, I don't think there is a right or wrong, left and right on this one. The fitment is really smooth on this one, so that's a big hooray for me. Fitment on this stuff is good, so that's not bad. We're gonna put it now on its back. I'm gonna put the stand together. Oh, the whole stand falls out. So that's really cool. So it has standard base plate from Hobby Master, the long base arm. These usually should fit quite easy. You hear this popping and clicking, which is a good thing. Always make sure you really push this one in all the way. You don't want to tip it off the frame. Then what I usually do is I click it. Oh, no, these missiles, as I mentioned, they are sometimes really good fitment and sometimes a bit more poor. But in general, the Phantom is quite an okay model frame. So you just have sometimes a bit of bad luck with fitment, but that's all. So the stand clicked in. So there you have it. the Phantom 2 from the RAS, which I didn't know they had, but yeah, the pin is a bit weak, but the colors are really cool for the H. I'd say a bit of dirt here. I'm gonna maybe clean it again later on, but in general for its H it still looks quite okay. So I hope you guys like this informative video, and also me running into some issues and how I deal with it, or at least how I try and solve it. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, or leave a comment also with like tips and tricks that you have for the Phantom, because I'm really curious about that. I have the other one still nearby. So there's a small difference between them, not much, but the main differences where you will find them is that the rockets are still shitty, but mainly what they changed was the packs underneath here. So yeah, thank you guys, and stay safe, and see you next time.